Billionaire's heartwarming request for his Maid's daughter reveals a 10-year-old piano prodigy. In the sleepy suburb of Maplewood, where laughter mingled with the distant hum of luxury, young Mia Ortiz sat on a worn-out stool, fingers dancing across the keys of an old keyboard. Each note spilled from her heart, echoing through their little apartment as vivid dreams took flight in her spirit. Her mother, a dedicated maid, returned each evening with sweat on her brow and love in her eyes, fueling Mia's hope that there was more to life than the relentless grind of day-to-day survival. While the world outside celebrated wealth, Mia felt the weight of her family's struggle, yet, within those keys, her soul soared. One day, billionaire Jonathan Graves, known for his towering presence and a fortune built on ambition, found himself restless in his sprawling mansion. The anniversary of his mother's passing loomed ahead, and memories of her gentle wisdom echoed in his mind. She had often spoken of helping those less fortunate, and as he roamed his empty halls, her wish ignited a flicker of empathy within him. His curiosity directed him across the street to watch Mia through the window. The sound of her music seeped into his heart, painting vibrant colors over the gray canvas of his life. She played as if the world depended on her melody, and he couldn't look away. Her brilliance sparkled against the ordinary backdrop, drawing him in deeper until he knew he had to know her story. After gathering his courage, he approached Mia's mother with an offer. "Your daughter has remarkable talent. I would like to arrange free lessons with one of the best pianists in the state," he proposed. An offer that seemed too good to be true for poor Mia, yet an invisible wall of hesitation rose up. Would accepting such help diminish their dignity? Would it turn her dreams into a bittersweet reminder of their circumstances? Reluctantly, Mia agreed to the lessons. Yet, when her nerves ran high at the elite music academy, whispers of doubt crept into her heart. "You don't belong here," echoed in the halls, words that felt like daggers aimed at her spirit. Class divisions clawed at her confidence, reminding Mia of the unyielding barriers she fought against. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Amidst the chaos of self-doubt, a local community event cast a lifeline. The stage beckoned, promising a chance for Mia to prove not just to the world but to herself that she was worth notice. As the spotlight cast warmth around her, her heartbeat raced with both fear and hope. The audience, a sea of faces, shared a collective breath. Mia closed her eyes, her fingers resting on the keys, a storm of emotions swirling within her. Suddenly, time paused. This performance was not merely hers, it was a voice for every overlooked child, whispering, "We matter." And then, she began to play. But her mother stood off to the side, torn, watching her daughter's moment unfold with a heart heavy with pride and dread. The crowd could feel the tension rising, holding its breath for what came next. Would her daughter's brilliance shatter the glass ceiling separating them from a better life? The notes flowed out, wrapping the audience in a cocoon of sound. With each chord, hope and despair danced on the brink, leaving one nagging question hanging in the air: could Mia truly transcend the limitations of her past, or would the world conspire to stifle her gift forever? As the first notes cascaded from Mia's fingers, a hush fell over the crowd. The music filled the air, weaving through the audience like an invisible thread, pulling them closer to her world. Each strike of the key released a bit of her spirit, a sliver of her dreams. She poured everything into the melody, her fingers flying, guided by something deeper than fear, a relentless desire to be seen. The moment felt electric. Every face in the audience was rapt. Smile after smile lit up as they surrendered to her performance. For some, it was a distraction from their everyday lives; for others, it's what they had been longing to feel, a sense of connection and hope. But there at the edge of the stage, her mother clutched the railing, the reality of their life weighing heavily on her. Would they be able to afford to keep Mia in this world once the performance was over? Mia played on, pouring her heart into each note. Somewhere in the back of her mind, the whispers from the academy resurfaced, "You don't belong here." But as she raised her head and scanned the audience, she saw not scorn but awe. It transformed something in her. Maybe this was where she belonged. Maybe she was meant to be here, sharing her gift, her voice as a child of struggle, transcending barriers. As the final chord hung in the air, she opened her eyes. The audience erupted into applause, standing in unison, their faces beaming with admiration. It was a wave of sound washed over her, pushing aside the doubts that had clung perpetually to her spirit, but as the applause settled, she noticed a familiar face in the back. Jonathan Graves, the man who had opened the door to her new world, stood there with an expression she couldn't decipher. His eyes were glistening, but his brow was furrowed. What was he thinking? She had made such a bold step, but had she done enough to prove herself? After the performance, Mia rushed to her mother, whose eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "You were incredible, Mia," she exclaimed, wrapping her daughter in a tender embrace, holding her tightly as if afraid she would float away. But the joy was tinged with trepidation. "But, what comes next?" "Next," Mia said, with her pulse still racing, "I think we need to find out what he thinks." She nodded towards Jonathan, who was making his way through the crowd. The anticipation in Mia's heart shifted. She needed his reaction to feel whole. Jonathan reached them, a warm smile breaking through his earlier somberness. "Mia," he began, his voice rich with admiration, "you were phenomenal. Simply amazing." Each word lifted Mia's heart a little higher. "I knew you had talent, but this was something special." "Thank you," she replied, trying to contain the flutter of hope that ignited within her. There was an awkward pause, and Jonathan's expression shifted again. He hesitated, glancing at Mia's mother, then back to Mia. "There is something we need to discuss," he said, the gravity of his tone deflating the moment's joy. "A unique opportunity that could change everything for both of you." Mia's breath caught. What did that mean? Her heart raced with excitement and fear. Would this create possibilities she had only dared to dream about, or would it lead to new complexities that could threaten the bond she had with her mother? As Jonathan looked at them with a mixture of determination and trepidation, the promise of change loomed over the three of them. What path would they embark on now? Would it bring light or shadows into their lives ahead? The stage was only the beginning, and as the world awaited their next move, one question echoed profoundly: could they navigate the complexities of this new life together, or would it strain the love that had brought Mia to this moment? Mia felt a tug at her heart, a mix of apprehension and yearning. Jonathan stood before them, the weight of unspoken words hanging thick in the air like the final note of her song. Through the crowd's fading applause, her mind raced to imagine what this unique opportunity could be. "Let us step outside for a moment, shall we?" Jonathan suggested, gesturing toward the colorful lights twinkling like stars in the evening sky. Mia's heart pounded as she glanced at her mother, seeking reassurance in her eyes. Her mom nodded ever so slightly, and that small gesture ignited a flicker of courage within her. They moved to a quiet corner, away from the swirling party atmosphere. The chatter faded, replaced by the distant sounds of night. Though the tension crackled around them, the cool breeze felt refreshing on Mia's flushed cheeks. "Mia," Jonathan began, his tone turning serious, "I have been impressed with your talent from day one. You have something special, something that needs to be cultivated and cherished." His gaze lingered on her, and Mia could feel the weight of expectation in his words. "Thank you. I really want to learn," she stammered, suddenly shy. Jonathan took a deep breath, his voice low and steady. "There is an exclusive music academy in the city, one that trains some of the best young talents in the nation. They're hosting a scholarship competition next month. I can help you prepare and even introduce you to a few people there." Mia's breath hitched. A scholarship? This was her dream within a dream, the chance to escape her reality and embrace a life of music. But the thought of change loomed heavy. What about my mom? She asked, her heart clenching at the thought of leaving her behind. He can help you with that too, her mother interjected softly, her eyes filled with an understanding that only a parent could have. Mia, you deserve this chance. We can figure everything out together. Mia's heart felt like it was soaring. She could taste the hope in the air, but doubt clawed at her insides. What if she wasn't good enough? What if the academy didn't want her? What if she had to leave her mother behind to chase this dream? Are you sure? Mia finally asked Jonathan, her voice trembling slightly. What if I don't make it? He knelt down, meeting her gaze directly. Mia, even attempting this is worthwhile. You have to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. Talent like yours deserves to be shared with the world. Her mother reached over and squeezed her hand. This could change everything for us, Mia. Imagine the possibilities. Mia watched Jonathan and felt a swell of gratitude and fear. A million thoughts circled her mind, but one question felt like a constant echo. Was she ready to step into the unknown? As the stars began to twinkle brighter above them, she nodded slowly, determination blooming in her heart. Perhaps this was her moment, the cleft in time where her life would pivot toward a brighter tomorrow. Okay, Mia said, a hint of resolution in her voice. I'll do it. Jonathan broke into a wide smile, and Mia's mom beamed, her eyes glistening with pride. But as the three of them stood together under that vast night sky, a new wave of uncertainty washed over her. Would she be able to handle the pressures of the academy? Would dreams and reality intertwine in ways she could never have imagined? The night felt full of promise, but Mia couldn't shake the feeling that the hardest part was still ahead. And little did they all know that beyond the doors of opportunity awaited trials that would test their bond, their spirits, and their resolve. Would this leap of faith bring them closer or fracture their fragile lives in ways they couldn't foresee? The following week was a whirlwind of preparations. Mia's mind reeled as she shifted between the excitement of the upcoming competition and the stark reality of daily life. Her guitar sat in the corner of her room, a silent companion, often begging for her attention. Yet, with every strum, doubt shadowed her enthusiasm. Mia, are you ready for our first lesson? Jonathan's voice was bright, echoing through the small studio, making the space feel much larger than it was. Yeah, Mia replied, her heart quickening as she stepped into the room. The walls were adorned with posters of music legends, reminding her of the journey that lay ahead. She put on a brave face as Jonathan moved closer, but the apprehension in her heart seemed to swell larger. Great! I want to see what you've got. His eyes sparkled with encouragement as he set the metronome clicking softly. Mia closed her eyes and took a deep breath. The warmth of the room surrounded her when she began to play, letting the music flow from her fingers. But as she continued, the rhythm faltered. Every note that left her hands felt inadequate, her confidence wavered like a candle in the wind. After she finished, the silence felt deafening. Jonathan studied her with an intensity that made her squirm. That was good, Mia, but I want to see you give it all you've got next time. You have to trust yourself more. Trust? It's hard when you feel like every performance is on the edge of a cliff, she admitted, a rush of vulnerability washing over her. His expression softened. I understand. But remember, the fall is only scary if you don't believe you can fly. Mia bit her lip, absorbing his words. She wanted to fly, but the fear of hitting the ground hard stilled her spirit. What if she didn't belong? As they continued their lessons, she found herself letting go bit by bit. Jonathan pushed her, prodding her past her limits, and soon, lessons turned into heartfelt discussions. Each revelation chipped away at her walls until one day when they started talking about dreams more than techniques. What does music mean to you? He asked one afternoon. It's everything, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Often, it's the only place I feel free. Jonathan nodded thoughtfully. And that's where your power lies. Channel that freedom. Let it be your voice. Days turned to weeks, and with every lesson, Mia found herself growing bolder. The strains of music that once felt foreign began to shape into melodies of her spirit. Each practice was both a celebration and a challenge as she prepared for the competition, but then, an unexpected call from her mother shook the solid ground beneath her. One evening, as they were preparing a late dinner, her mom wouldn't meet her eyes. "Mia," she started hesitantly, "there's something we need to talk about." "I got a job offer." "What kind of job?" Mia asked, knowing her mother's need to find better work weighed heavy on them both. "A great opportunity," her mother replied softly. "It means I'd be away for a while, but it's a crucial step for us, for you." Mia's heart sank. The thought of her mother being away gnawed at her. How could she chase her dreams if it meant losing the anchor that kept her grounded? It didn't seem fair. "But I need you here, especially now," she pleaded, a hint of panic rising in her chest. "Mia, if this works, we can have so much more. You could go to that academy without worry." "I don't care about the academy. I care about us." Tears brimmed in her mother's eyes. Mia's world felt like it was collapsing in on itself. She stood in the kitchen, grappling with the reality of sacrifice, the one constant in life that carried both wounds and potential. And what if making it meant saying goodbye to everything she held dear? Just as the storm of emotion swirled in her heart, her phone buzzed with a message from Jonathan. "Let's meet tomorrow to finalize plans for the competition. Believe in yourself, Mia." But even as the hope flickered, uncertainty loomed larger. Could she really step into the light if it meant leaving her past behind? Tomorrow would reveal more than the music she was meant to play. It would force her to confront the hardest choices she'd ever face. Would the duet of her dreams and her real life harmonize, or would they clash in a way that left her lost? Mia couldn't shake off the weight of her mother's words. The kitchen felt like a cage, filled with the bittersweet scent of their dinner. She needed her mother. But deep down, a tiny, rebellious voice whispered that maybe this was a chance for both of them, the opportunity for freedom, for something more. The next morning, sunlight streamed through her window like a warm embrace. Mia grabbed her guitar and played a few chords, finding solace in the familiar melodies. Each note ignited a flicker of hope in her heart, reminding her why she was fighting so hard. But that hope was tangled with anxiety, leaving her in a whirlwind of emotions. "Okay, deep breath," she told herself as she dressed for the day. This meeting with Jonathan could change everything. She wanted to convey her passion, her readiness. As she arrived at the studio, her fingers were shaking. The walls hummed with memories of her journey, but today felt different. Today, she had to lay all her fears bare. Jonathan welcomed her warmly. "Hey, Mia. Ready to dive in?" His enthusiasm was infectious, but the gravity of their conversation loomed over her like storm clouds. Yeah. But I want to talk first," she began, her voice shaky. Jonathan nodded, his expression shifting from excitement to curiosity. "I've been thinking a lot about my competitions, my dreams, and about my mom's job offer." Her words tumbled out in a rush. "I'm scared, Jonathan. What if it changes everything? What if I lose my chance to be free if she leaves?" Jonathan studied her for a moment. "It's completely okay to feel that way, Mia. You're standing at a crossroads, and that can be terrifying. It's not just about the music," she continued, her throat tightening. "It's everything. What if I can't fly? What if I don't have the space to grow?" Tears welled up, but she blinked them away, unwilling to shy away now. "Mia," he said gently, "do you trust me?" "Of course," she whispered, her heart swelling with warmth. "Then let us take a leap together. You don't have to figure it all out right now. Just focus on the music, on expressing yourself." His words were a balm to her racing heart. They began the lesson, and as she played, she felt the music walls around her dissolve. Each strum was a release, freeing her from the chains of doubt. "See? You have so much potential," he said, smiling brightly. After the session, Mia felt the heaviness in her chest lift slightly. "Thank you," she said, both surprised and relieved to feel lighter. "I'll do my best for the competition. Just remember, whether your mom is near or far, she'll always be cheering for you," Jonathan said. "You have to go after what you love. It's what makes you, you." As she walked out, a renewed sense of purpose started to swell within her. But just as she was about to step beyond the studio's threshold, she received an unexpected phone call. Glancing at the screen, her heart sank. It was her mother, and with that came a fresh wave of uncertainty. "Mia. I need to talk to you about something important," her mother urged. "Mom. Is everything okay?" The silence on the other end felt heavy, pregnant with unspoken truths. "Things have changed." Mia's breath caught in her throat. Her heart began to race, a million thoughts spiraling through her mind. Just when she thought she was gaining clarity, life was about to throw another curveball. What could possibly be bigger than the job offer? As she listened intently, she could feel the crossroads before her becoming more complex by the second. Could she handle whatever was coming next? And would it change everything she had just begun to believe in? "Mia. Are you there?" Her mother's voice broke through the silence, shaky and urgent. "Yeah, Mom. I'm here," she replied, her heart racing, panic creeping into her chest. I don't know how to say this," her mother hesitated, the weight of the words hanging between them like a thick fog. "But I think we need to rethink things. The job offer I might need to move really soon. Like, tomorrow." "What? Tomorrow? But why?" I thought Mia's voice quivered, the anxiety tightening around her. "I thought you said you'd take your time." "Mia, I didn't expect this either. But it's a big opportunity, and I can't let it slip away. This could change our lives," her mother explained, her tone desperate yet hopeful. "Change." The word echoed in Mia's mind, a relentless drumbeat. "But Mom, what about me? My competitions? What if I don't get my chance when you're gone? I need you here." "I know, sweetie. I know." There was a softness in her mother's voice, a deep understanding that cut through Mia's frustration. "But I believe in you. I believe you're ready for this. You have to promise me you'll keep pushing forward no matter what." Mia's breath hitched. "You don't understand. You're my rock. If you go away, what if I fail?" Tears threatened to spill over as she clutched her guitar, seeking comfort in its familiar presence. "Listen, Mia," her mom said firmly. "Life is all about the risks we take. I believe you're strong enough to face this. You and your music, it's your freedom. You can't let fear hold you back. Remember what Jonathan said. You have to go after what you love." Mia closed her eyes, feeling the weight of her dreams pushing against her chest, colliding with her fears. "But I'm scared, Mom." "I am too. But we can't let that stop us. This is a chance for both of us. I want you to find your wings while I find mine." A deep silence filled the space between them, heavy with unspoken thoughts and fears. Could she really fly alone? Would she lose her mother's support in her greatest moment of need? "I'll try, but it's so much to take in right now," she finally whispered, her resolve wavering. "Just take it one step at a time. One chord at a time." The call ended, leaving Mia staring blankly at the wall, heavy with uncertainty. She wanted to scream. She wanted to tell her mother that she couldn't do it without her. Yet, somewhere deep inside, a flicker of hope remained. Maybe she could rise to a new challenge. With trembling hands, she picked up her guitar again, letting her fears seep into the strings, transforming them into sound. Each note felt like a lifeline, pulling her from the depths of doubt. Suddenly, she knew she had to play her heart out for the upcoming competition. "This is for us," she murmured to herself, determination igniting within her. But as the melody wrapped around her like a comforting embrace, a part of her still wondered, what if she wasn't strong enough to stand on her own? As she practiced, a flurry of ideas and doubts filled her mind. Could she really do this without her mom at her side? And more importantly, would her mother's sacrifices pay off in the end? Outside her window, the world was vibrant and alive, yet she felt shackled by an uncertain future. Just then, a new message arrived on her phone. It was from Jonathan, containing a simple question: "Are you ready for the rehearsal tomorrow? I can't wait to help you shine." But as Mia read it, another twist loomed ahead. What if rehearsals brought another unexpected surprise that would throw her into an even deeper whirlwind? The truth was, tomorrow was going to change everything again. Would she be ready for it? Mia woke up with the sun streaming through her window, creating a patchwork of light on her walls. The warmth felt comforting, yet the knot in her stomach reminded her that today was the day she had to confront her fears. She glanced at her phone. No new messages. Jonathan's words from last night echoed in her mind, a blend of excitement and worry that left her feeling off balance. After a quick shower and a breakfast she barely tasted, Mia picked up her guitar again. She needed to practice. The strings felt alive beneath her fingertips as she strummed a few chords. But each note sounded hollow, like an echo of her anxiety. "I need to believe," she whispered to herself, letting the words fill the silence. Just then, her phone buzzed again. This time it was Jonathan calling. She hesitated before picking up, nerves sizzling through her. "Mia. Hey. Are you ready? You're going to kill it today." His enthusiasm was infectious, and she couldn't help but crack a small smile. "Yeah, I hope so," she replied, her voice wobbling. "Just trust yourself. You've got this. And remember, it's all about having fun. It's your gig." His genuine encouragement helped wash away some of her anxiety, but she still felt the weight of uncertainty as they chatted. "What time should I be there?" "Let's say around 3. We can warm up a bit before the other competitors show up. I've got some tricks up my sleeve for your performance." "Tricks?" She raised an eyebrow, curiosity piqued. "Just a few ideas to really showcase your talent. You're going to stand out, I promise. Just wait and see." As they talked, Mia felt her spirits lift. Jonathan's confidence in her ignited a spark of determination. "Okay, I'll be there," she said, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and excitement. After hanging up, reality struck her again. Mia looked around her room, cluttered with sheet music and reminders of competitions gone by. Would this be the moment that shaped her future? Would she find out if she was truly ready to shine on her own? As the hours passed, she practiced relentlessly, pouring her emotions into every string plucked. The music flowed easier now, each note a hopeful whisper that nudged her forward. She felt alive, as if all the doubts melting away were leaving room for a new version of herself to emerge. When it was finally time to leave, she grabbed her guitar and took a deep breath, a mix of fear and anticipation bubbling in her chest. She wasn't just stepping out to perform, she was stepping into a new chapter of her life. When she arrived at the rehearsal venue, her heart raced. The room was buzzing with energy, musicians tuning their instruments and chatting among themselves. Jonathan spotted her from across the room and waved. "See? You're not alone. Just breathe and let the music take over." But as they began to warm up, she caught sight of another competitor, someone she hadn't expected to see: Lily, an old friend who had always been one step ahead of her in every musical endeavor. The realization hit her harder than she anticipated. Would she still shine? Or would this turn into another moment of feeling overshadowed, as the sound of instruments filled the air, Mia's mind whirled? Would she rise above this challenge, or would the competition pull her back into her shell? The moment had arrived for her to confront not just her fears, but also her past. With a deep breath, she stepped toward her destiny. Ready or not, what would happen when the spotlight fell on her? Would she uncover the strength she needed to truly shine? Mia took her position in the corner of the rehearsal space, her heart pounding in rhythm with the notes being played around her. Jonathan flashed her an encouraging smile while tuning his guitar, and it grounded her momentarily. But as she glanced over at Lily, her stomach twisted again. Lily moved with such confidence, a radiant smile plastered on her face as she chatted with nearby musicians. This wasn't just any competition, it was a reminder of every time Mia had felt less than enough. The sounds of laughter and chatter enveloped her, yet Mia could hear her own heartbeat echoing in her ears. She closed her eyes for a brief moment, letting the energy of the room seep into her. Maybe the competition wasn't about comparison, maybe it was about connection. "Okay, Mia, let us work on that intro," Jonathan called out, breaking through her thoughts. The room quieted down, every gaze turning toward her. Yeah, I just need a moment," she faltered, but Jonathan nodded understandingly. "Take your time." She looked around. Each competitor had a unique style, each sound resonating differently. What did she bring to the table? Her fingers tingled with anticipation as she picked up her guitar again. With a deep breath, she began to strum a soft melody, letting the music flow through her. As the notes filled the air, she opened her eyes to see people smiling, their attention caught by the gentle rhythm. It felt like a warm embrace, and for the first time that day, she felt herself relax. The notes weren't just sounds, they were reflections of her dreams and fears, intertwining in a way that was deeply personal. "Mia, that's it. Keep going." Jonathan cheered, and the confidence in his voice poured into her. She played on, transitioning from the gentle melody to a more spirited tune, all her emotions wrapped up in each strum of her guitar. The rhythm picked up, the room reacted, and she could see heads bobbing and feet tapping. In that moment, she wasn't just competing, she was sharing a piece of herself. But then, just as she began to gain momentum, Mia caught a glimpse of Lily again. The other girl had switched to a vibrant, complex piece on the piano, her hands flying over the keys effortlessly. The comparison swallowed Mia whole. For a moment, her heart sank. Would anyone remember her tune when the performance ended? Suddenly, Jonathan leaned in closer. "Mia, don't let that get to you. You have something special that can't be overshadowed." Mia swallowed hard, looking into his reassuring eyes. "But what if I'm not good enough?" "Stop right there," he said firmly. "You're more than enough. This isn't a race, it's your moment to shine. Let your heart guide you." He turned her around to face the room again. She took another breath, nodding faintly, remembering that deep down, it wasn't about being better than Lily, it was about expressing who she was. With newfound determination, Mia returned to her guitar and began to play again, pouring everything into the music. Each note lifted her spirit, inviting the audience to connect with her story. The world around her faded, it was just her and the sound of her heart on those strings. As she rounded the final chord, the room erupted in applause. It felt overwhelming, exhilarating. Jonathan beamed at her as she finished. But the cheers quickly faded when she saw Lily watching her with an expression of surprise mixed with grudging admiration. It felt like an unexpected twist, as if a bond ignited between two musicians who had once been rivals. Mia smiled back, feeling light, as if a hidden weight had lifted. Could they be something more than competitors? Just as Mia breathed a sigh of relief, a voice called out from the back of the room. It was the competition judge, and their words cut through the warmth of the moment. "Next up is Lily." Mia's heart thudded. Was this really it? The moment of truth where her destiny was about to unfold. Would she find a way to shine beyond her fears, even in the face of unexpected competition, or would she let doubt creep back in? The next chapter of her story was right in front of her, waiting to be embraced. Mia barely registered the judge's voice as the anticipation in the room grew palpable. Her mind raced, thoughts swirling around as she watched Lily take center stage. The applause faded, leaving only the soft rustling of paper and the faint shuffle of feet. Mia's heart thumped loudly, drowning out everything else. Lily settled on the piano bench, her demeanor calm and poised. With a gentle press of a key, she began to play. The music flowed with precision and grace, mesmerizing everyone in the room. Each note resonated deeply, a stark contrast to the whirlwind of emotions Mia was feeling. It was beautiful, but it only highlighted her own insecurities. Focus on your own journey, Jonathan's voice echoed in her mind, but it was drowned out by a tide of self-doubt. She couldn't help but wonder if she could ever create beauty like that. As Lily played, Mia's gaze flickered around the room. Musicians leaned in, utterly captivated. Heads nodded in rhythm, and a few of them closed their eyes, seemingly lost in the moment. The energy shifted, elevating the competition into something larger, an artistic expression that transcended rivalry, but as the final notes of Lily's performance hung in the air, something unexpected happened. Instead of the usual applause, a mix of awe and surprise rolled through the crowd. Was there something off, Mia wondered. The realization hit her when she saw Lily's face twist with frustration as the piano let out a dissonant twang. The audience blinked, their applause faltering midway, uncertainty rippling through the space. Mia felt a strange rush of empathy surging through her. This moment was raw, the two of them standing eerily similar on a precipice of vulnerability. If Lily could falter, then so could she. In that moment, a connection sparked in Mia's heart, uniting them as musicians rather than competitors. Lily straightened up, adjusting her posture. She took a breath and began again. This time, her fingers danced across the keys with even more determination, channeling all her emotions into the music. The crowd sat rapt, and Mia found herself cheering internally for Lily, proud of her resilience. It reminded Mia that all artists battled their own doubts, that perfection was a mere illusion. When Lily finished, she received a thunderous standing ovation. Mia joined in, clapping loudly, admiration shining in her eyes. No longer was she merely a competitor, she was a witness to a shared moment of artistry and strength. While Jonathan stood beside Mia, a proud smile on his face. That was incredible. But you know what? You have just as much in you. As the applause died down, the judge gestured to Mia. Now, we invite Mia to the stage. Panic fluttered in her chest as she stepped forward, the energy of the audience charging her up like electricity. This was her moment. She tried to muster the same grace that Lily had shown, but all her thoughts tied back to the same question: could she share the same vulnerability in her music? Mia approached the mic and steadied herself. The stage felt like an arena, and she prepared to take the audience on a journey, a piece of herself, just like Lily had done. Closing her eyes, she took a deep breath, letting the nerves swirl into excitement. As she strummed her guitar, the first notes echoed in the silence, and she poured her heart into every strum. Trying to drown out the fear, she let her spirit guide her. The room took a breath, anticipating her story as if a door was slowly opening, but just as rhythm and harmony intertwined, a loud crash interrupted her thoughts. Startled, Mia's eyes snapped open, her heart racing. What had just happened? The energy shifted again, and all eyes turned toward the back of the room, where chaos erupted. She had to know what had just disrupted her moment. As Mia stood on stage, her heart racing, she took the scattered sounds of chaos in the back of the room. She turned slightly, squinting to catch a glimpse of what was happening. A sudden ruckus erupted from where a small group of onlookers had toppled over a decorative display. Drinks spilled, chairs screeched, and startled gasps filled the air. Jonathan rushed into the crowd, his expression a mix of concern and determination. "Stay focused, Mia. You got this." His voice cut through the noise, grounding her, reminding her of the support that had helped her rise to this moment. Mia took a deep breath, the chaos unraveling around her felt surreal. She steeled herself against the anxiety that clawed at her insides. "It's just noise," she whispered to herself, "a moment of chaos before the music flows again." When she glanced back to Jonathan, she saw him ushering the crowd into calmness and control, his presence reassuring. The way he believed in her sparked a determination she hadn't anticipated. She focused her gaze back on the audience, a collective mix of wide-eyed faces still buzzing with adrenaline, all waiting for her next move. With renewed bravery, Mia strummed her guitar again, the gentle chords echoing off the walls like a beacon in the tumult. She closed her eyes, willing the audience to hold their breath with her. This was it. When the music filled the air again, she poured every bit of emotion from that day into her performance, the doubts, the joys, the worries, and most importantly, the hope. The first notes cascaded like a waterfall, steady and strong. She wove a tapestry of sound, intertwining highs and lows, a harmony that resonated with the very essence of who she was. Each strum of the guitar transformed the room, the energy shifted. The cacophony of earlier faded away, replaced by a palpable connection forged through music. Mia's fingers danced with growing confidence. The audience was captivated, absorbed completely in her melody. They swayed to her rhythm, their worries melting into the notes. She could feel Jonathan's pride radiating from the edge of the stage, urging her forward. As she approached the climax of her piece, she opened her eyes and scanned the audience, connecting with random faces smiling, hopeful, reflecting back a mirror of her very own dreams and fears. Here comes the magic, she mused in her heart. And then, with each final chord, she unleashed all of her passion, her spirit soaring higher than ever before. The last note echoed through the venue, and the silence that followed felt like floating on air. But then it broke, the audience erupted in thunderous applause, cheers and shouts transforming the silence into a tidal wave of affirmation. They stood, faces alight with admiration, all recognizing the vulnerability she had shared. The overwhelming flood of love washed over Mia, lifting her higher than she thought possible, tears brimming in her eyes. She locked eyes with Jonathan, whose smile was radiant, reflecting unbounded joy and pride. Suddenly, amidst the chaos, the isolation of the competition faded into the background. Mia was not alone. She was part of a community of hearts craving authenticity and connection. As the applause slowly quieted down, the judge stepped forward, nodding approvingly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's clear that we have witnessed something truly remarkable today. Music is a journey we all share, and these two young talents have brought us together in profound ways. Mia, you have certainly ignited a fire in our hearts. Mia's breath hitched in her throat. She didn't just feel seen, she felt understood. The moment turned into something much bigger. It was no longer about the competition but rather about forging a path of connection through art. She had inadvertently brought everyone closer together, side by side, united by vulnerability and strength, but even in the outpouring of warmth, another wave of realization washed over her. And Lily? Mia thought. The girl was not a rival, she too had shared a remarkable journey. Taking a step back, Mia turned toward her friend, who was still beaming from her earlier performance. A gesture of confidence in her own heart bloomed, a recognition that they could support one another in ways they had never considered possible. Lily! Mia called out, beckoning her onto the stage beside her. The room eased into another wave of applause as the two girls stood together. In unison, they took a bow, realizing that they had conquered the self-doubt, turning rivalry into friendship and competition into collaboration. As the lights began to dim, Jonathan stepped closer, his eyes brimming with pride. You did it, Mia. You not only embraced your journey but lifted others along the way. You proved that we can rise together. She smiled back at him through tears of pure joy. Thank you for believing in me, Jonathan. I couldn't have done it without your support. As the evening wrapped up and the audience mingled, Mia stepped out of the warm glow of the spotlight, hand in hand with Lily. They were no longer bound by fears but strengthened by the shared bonds of music, mentorship, and friendship. Hand in hand, they stepped into the new world waiting for them, a partnership forged in the fires of competition now transformed into collaboration. This was just the beginning. The future had opened its arms wide, and Mia felt ready to leap into whatever adventures lay ahead. Each strum, each note, had brought her closer not just to her music but to her dreams of a life shared, lives intertwined, hopes intertwined, soaring together as they had always been meant to. Now was the moment to chase every dream and share the joy within. So, as a final moment of inspiration resonated in the air, let this be your call, dear friends. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment below about your reactions and feelings regarding this transformative journey. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. True fans understand the immense power of communal support, and together, we can soar.